Hey guys, my name is Ryan.
And my name is Mysca.
And welcome to Overwatch Central, and for a very old series that we used to do that we kind of wanted to pick up again. Welcome to the mailbox.
Yeah, so we used to call this mailbox. I think now we're just gonna call it whatever we talk about, kind of.
Yeah.
We'll see, because we really don't know what it will end up being. We asked you guys about just topics to discuss, questions that you had for us about YouTube, Overwatch, whatever it may be. And yeah, we got some through Twitter. If you want to follow us on Twitter and check out when we post this, because we'll probably post more of these sort of things, like, hey, just ask us some questions and stuff, then you can check it out at OW Central. But yeah, let's go through some of the questions and yeah, see what you guys had to say.
And also submit any other questions that you may have in the comments below for the next time that we may do this. We'll let you know. But yeah, straight into the first question.
So first up from @mthepro is, will Overwatch copy Fortnite with a battle royale mode? Now we asked for kind of like topics and questions, but we got mostly questions. But I felt like this was a good one just because there's been a lot of talk about just battle royale games as a whole. A lot of new ones kind of coming out. Of course, Fortnite kind of continuing that trend that PUBG kind of started.
Yeah, certainly those games as well. Like I think Paladins is bringing out one which are like the hero-based battle royales and battle right too, so I think even if it's not strictly a shooter, you're still starting to see them.
Yeah,
BLIZZ have been asking for like there's been some like hiring dev stuff along those lines. We'll try and get a screenshot of it because I can't remember off the top of my head.
Yeah, this was what I wanted to
specifically asking for.
So I believe it was talking about developing a sort of PvP shooter mechanics and like elements and for a new IP, which was why people were kind of like interested in it, because people were thinking, oh, this probably isn't Overwatch 2 then, or like some Overwatch continuation thing. And I think it was Valky actually that tweeted out very early on with that, just saying like, oh, Overwatch Battle Royale coming, and question mark. And that's why there was a lot of talk about that sort of stuff recently. I think it's something that would be very interesting to see. I would definitely love to see Blizzard develop another shooter, or like even if it's just a more, you know, small arcadey game to begin with, just to see what they can do with it would be really interesting, because not every game has to be a huge blockbuster, multi-series, international, like multi-million user base type of games.
And I think that's what people always ask, like, what do you think Overwatch 2 would be like? And I think Overwatch 2 would very much not be like Overwatch. You know, you have stuff like Hearthstone and kind of Heroes of the Storm, which is still in like the World of Warcraft universe that I feel that Overwatch in itself is a broad universe that you can see different types of games coming out, even like an MMO, like Titan Reborn, out of like the death of Titan to an extent.
Yeah.
Maybe not that ambitious, but I certainly feel that Overwatch and Blizzard have created an amazing universe that people want more story and lore about anyway, that you can't strictly get that through with an FPS. So I do imagine that a Battle Royale mode might be on the cards, but I do think that Blizzard like to plan much further ahead overall, so
there are a lot of options, and I think Blizzard have a lot that they can go with next.
Yeah.
I probably think they will most definitely do something next, because Overwatch was their first new IP in forever, right?
Yeah.
So with Overwatch becoming such a huge success, and Blizzard knowing that they can create these new universes to get people involved in, or even just new types of games that they haven't really made before, I think they can definitely pull it off, and it's definitely something that they want to do. I don't think that's something that you even need to speculate about. Obviously, Blizzard want to make more games, will make more games, and want to get into new markets and stuff, and reach more people, so I mean, sooner or later.
So Overwatch kart racing is going to be Overwatch 2.0.
Yeah. Oh man, that would be great. A kart racing game, yeah. Anyway, let's move on.
Yeah. Lavius asked if 2 avoided players is enough to give the players the choice of who they play with. Like you guys mentioned in your most recent video. This was, of course, to do with people wanted to avoid one-tricks if they don't like one-tricks. But because you get to decide who you avoid, you don't really need to worry about that. If you don't want to play with a Symmetra one trick, that's fine. That's your choice because you can avoid it.
There's also the very clever method. I did this a lot recently when duo queuing a bit for I think like the 2 days I was playing with a lot on the weekend just recently. And basically what you can do as a duo is that you can avoid up to 4 people, right? But not only can you avoid up to 4, but if the duo that you didn't like, well, if there was a duo that you didn't like, you just avoid one of them, and all of a sudden you can avoid up to like 8 people if you're playing duo queue and you consistently get another duo on your team that you don't like, or whatever it is. You can avoid a lot more people if you actually group up a bit more, so it kind of incentivizes grouping up almost. It's a bit weird, but yeah, it's
more dynamic, I think, as well. Like, you know, people say that like up to 10 or 15 players, if you're XQC and you have somebody that's constantly trying to throw your game, sure, you need more slots. But for us, I don't know about anybody else, but if I avoid 2 players, the next day I'm never going to see them anyway, so I can take them off that list. So I wouldn't have any more than 5 to fill up like a full team's worth, including yourself or people that you can avoid. But like Mysca just said, there's ways to make that 10 or 15 players that you avoid.
I think you want to kind of do it per session based, because like a lot of the time if you keep queuing into the same person, or well previously if you kept queuing into the same person before this feature was a thing, then that would always be just like happening because they were queuing at the same time as you were, because they were just available at that time of day. And I think that's the sort of thing to keep in mind, that like next day, if you're playing at a different time of day, that person is very likely to not be on. So you can probably just unavoid them and avoid someone else.
Yeah, and the matchmaker will obviously move you up and down.
Yeah.
I very rarely run into the same toxic people over and over again.
Exactly.
After I've avoided them.
Exactly. Anyway, let's check out some other questions. Next question is from @JerDeBear7410. Nice username there. I personally think a hit scan tank as the next hero could be really interesting. What are your thoughts on that? So, obviously, I think I've mentioned it recently. Just, I think the current meta and how solidified it is. Have you seen the pick rate chart in Grandmaster?
There's like 5% difference between the top 6, which is Zarya, Reinhardt, Brigitte, Zen, Mercy, and Hanzo.
Yeah.
Below that is like Widowmaker and Moira that are 5%.
Yeah, so how solidified that is, and how like Reinhardt is so like, it can be frustrating to play, but you kind of like have to do it almost now. Kind of really highlights how few actual tanks there are in Overwatch. Like if I pick Zarya, I'm not gonna expect someone to be able to pick Roadhog on my team and us do well. You know, that's not really a good tank duo. But the thing about it is that like, since you only have 3 main tanks to choose from, Winston gets like, yeah, it's just messed up by Brigitte for sure. Then it limits you a lot. You have Orisa, you have Reinhardt, but Reinhardt just seems like the better option now. So it would be really nice to have another sort of main tank. The problem with main tanking is that it's really hard to make that a main tank that has good range. Like you kind of have Orisa already. If Orisa was hit scan, I think the character would just be a bit too good, honestly. Because a lot of it is that, okay, there is, sure, you can provide a lot of pressure, but you can't really take down a Pharah on your own. That seems kind of reasonable to me. And I think doing a hit scan tank might be hard, but maybe something where they have some ability similar to Storm Arrows, where they're hit scan for a bit, or they have some shots that are hit scan, or maybe even just one powerful shot that's hit scan. Kind of like you have like one Widowmaker snipe like occasionally.
A sort of pulse beam kind of thing.
Yeah, it could be really interesting, but I think it's hard to create characters like that because it really messes with the balance of the game.
I think the main thing is that like the next hero almost has to be a main tank.
Yeah,
I think that's a given.
I don't think
Blizzard.
I feel like it's hard. It's very hard for me to imagine to be Blizzard right now and have them go, yeah, we definitely don't need another main tank. Because like looking at roles, and if they ask themselves what do we need in the game right now, like they added Orisa a little bit over a year ago, right? And before that we only had 2. Now we have 3, and we're still lacking. So imagine next year. Like it's good.
With all of these, especially like CC orientated.
Yeah,
heroes.
exactly. So I think tank, sure. Hit scan, maybe not, but there could be some interesting things.
Blizzard have done some weird stuff in the past.
Yeah,
so,
Blizzard
like,
have
maybe
we'll see.
Brendan asks, what made you guys fall in love with Overwatch? Do you guys purely still love the game, or play more now to be able to create content? There are times that sometimes it just feels like trying to get footage can be really difficult, especially when there's no news. Like being honest, really, like there's going to be times like that. But I feel like I was talking to Stylos about this actually. Is like we just keep coming back to the game because it's one of the best games that I feel personally that I've ever played or ever will play, because you have the balance between a very competitive FPS shooter, class-based system. There's something for everybody in this kind of game, and the grind is always there for you to do. And you know, you care and cherish the characters to an extent, even if you're not really interested in lore and stuff. You make your own lore in itself that, you know, like Maze the Devil or Mercy mains just aren't very good, that kind of stuff.
Wow.
Like, even though it's one of those sort of areas where people almost take the mick out of it, I suppose.
Yeah.
That's what the Overwatch community created for itself. Blizzard didn't force us to think that Mei was the devil or that Winstons don't have any mechanical skill.
I mean, it's
those
investment.
kind of things.
Yeah, it's investment in the game. I mean, like you said, it's like it's what you kind of make it yourself. I think it's the interesting part about this question to me is that, like, do you guys purely still love the game or play more now to be able to create content? The thing about that is that they're very much connected. I think a lot of people look at Overwatch on YouTube and kind of go, oh, they're just making this video, or like, oh, they're just like, they've got this gameplay because they have to get some gameplay for a video because the game is in such a state, right? Like, sometimes we'll even talk about in a video, wow, the game is so like tough to play right now and not like a lot of fun for us, but we're still playing the game, and it's not like we got gameplay in the background of that just like suffering through a comp game. Like, it's a bit of a meme that Overwatch is so shit that you don't want to play it, but because even people that like say that in a much more like serious way, they still play the game probably like weekly at least. And for me, it's the sort of thing where I want to just find ways to play the game that are still like fun for me. I've found some ways, but what I've done recently as well is just playing other games and then coming back to Overwatch and trying to like sort of not necessarily learn from other games, but just like
it's a healthy medium.
Yeah, but by doing that, just like feeling like Overwatch feels more interesting again, rather than having my same all the time I spend playing games be like 75, 80, 90% Overwatch like it was for a while. Now it's more like I play a bit of StarCraft, I play a bit of Dota 2, I play a bit of PUBG. I tried Battle.right recently. There's a lot of different games out there still, and I think like just trying different stuff in between and then coming back to Overwatch can be very healthy. The only thing that I think is just the thing that really like holds me back from playing a lot more Overwatch right now is that there are things that I've been kind of frustrated with for a while that we've not seen changes with, like such as just infrastructure in ranked and so on. And those are really like boring things to some people. Like some people just want more skins or want new maps and want new heroes, you know? But there are really like things like that kind of have bothered me for a while, that those are the ones that I keep playing Overwatch, and then after a while I start feeling that and I get reminded of those things, and that's when I'm kind of like that's when I kind of stop playing. So I'd say it's still a lot of like love for the game for sure that keeps us playing it and making content on it for sure. One thing I said recently was like, I don't really want to make videos and stuff that I don't feel interested in at all, and that's something that's kind of like important to me that we try to stick to. Sometimes it's hard because we don't want to just like, you know, just not do any work for a day just because we didn't feel like playing Overwatch that day. So we try to find other things to do. I mean, kind of like this, honestly.
We have that freedom to be able to like talk to people and to find areas, you know, like other videos talking about Lucy or Doomfist. It's a sort of win-win situation where we could talk to, say, for example, Chips about Doomfist because we don't know shit about playing Doomfist at the highest level, and we can ask somebody their genuine opinion and get some valid opinion instead of us basically pretending to be Doomfist gods and knowing exactly how he should be played in every single rank. We'd much rather ask that sort of person.
I think the answer to this question, like, do you guys still love the game or play more to be able to create content? I think the answer to that question is basically like, we play it because we like it, but to enjoy it, there has to be variety in it. And that's why we try to sort of mix it up in different ways more recently. But hey, listen, it would be great if you could get on that ranked system as well and just change some things up. But yeah, that's the essence of it, I'd say.
What I would say to anybody else that's sort of feeling the same, because I think there's a, you know, you look at Twitch and some people, even in like Dota or whatever, will be like, I hate this game, why am I still playing it, as like their Twitch title. That's a very sort of common thing. However, I think if you're going through the stress of where you're genuinely not enjoying the game, you need to work out if you're genuinely enjoying it not enough that you should probably have a break away from it. I mean, we've done that in the past. We've just had like a few days just not playing Overwatch. Like, we've been to events, we've been lucky to get breaks that way, but it's more of a case of sometimes it's fun to just hate on the game. It's quite easy to do and be deprecating in that sense, but if you feel it's actually affecting your mood and the way that you are just because you're starting to not enjoy the way that the game is playing, then you need to pay attention to that because you're not going to have fun in the game in that sense.
Yeah, for sure. Anyway, that's it for this kind of like Q&A slash it was almost like a podcast-like way of doing it. But either way, feel free to just ask us more questions as well. Thank you guys so much for the questions in this video. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it this time around.
Yeah. Thanks for watching. Take care. We'll see you next time.